we decided.
Wait. What did you say?
I said, you're right.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Raising Ohana. Was that good?
No.
Dang
I feel like...
Welcome back, you guys. We are going to talk about our oldest two children today.
And how we raise our Ohana.
Wow.
What?
Good throw in. So we have our two oldest, Clelea and Rael. Clelea is determined, determined.
She's very
emotionally based.
Very organized. She likes a plan, always likes a plan, and doesn't like when there is no plan.
Rael, the opposite.
Not exactly, but...
No. By choice. Rael chose at a very young age to be what we call the anti-Clay.
And I wonder, I want to put it out there, comment below or message us, leave us a comment.
We would love comments down below, especially if you're on our Raising Ohana YouTube channel right now.
Because I want to know.
Because we do comment back. We love that section of this.
I want to know, is it with all first and second children, especially if they're like the same gender, right? Like if they're both girl and girl, do they have this like the second one has to be different than the older one? You know what I mean? Like the younger brother cannot be the older brother. They have to be different.
So many of our friends, that is the case.
I find that like this is exactly the case, and it's so funny because...
Comment down below when it isn't the case, because I would love to know how you did that.
But you know what? I feel like Rael has come to a point in her life where she doesn't need to be the anti-Clay.
That's true.
I feel like Rael is really coming into her own, where I feel most children do this. And tell me if this is your case, Jace, because
I'm ready.
Or you guys comment down below, because I felt like junior high, your middle grade school ages, you're kind of just confused. You don't know who you are, so you're everybody, right? Like one day you want to be a rocker, one day you want to be like like
my younger sister wore hoop earrings that like rested on her shoulders.
Right. She wanted to be
like
alternative.
Back. No,
you know what I mean?
Everybody thought, this is what they would tell me. I don't think they knew what they were talking about. They're like, Jace, I'm so scared of your sister. She's such a G.
She's like
That's what they say.
Sweetest person.
She's such a G.
But I
so
feel
funny.
like that age of life, you're really confused at what you want to do. Then as you become into high school, the beginning years are kind of similar. But by the time you hit, I want to say junior or senior year, you kind of set in and realize, oh,
I'm an idiot.
No, I don't have to care what other people think. I don't have to care that my peers like me for this specific thing. And you kind of figure out what you really like. You figure out your style. You figure out a little bit more of what you want to do in life. And it doesn't matter if you're like the anti whatever.
And once they get there, we do this. Yeah, I just had to do that. So now it's interesting because Clay, she was so determined to be, I don't want to say influencer, but she was so determined to run her digital brand. Mm-hmm. And our biggest fear was that we would run, or my biggest fear was that I would have to run her digital brand. So I helped her make necklaces. I took her to China with me to source all of her product line.
Mm-hmm. She did hair clips, jewelry.
And guess what?
She failed.
She still hasn't even posted about her hair clips. It's been 2 years. There's a warehouse with thousands of these hair clips in it. She's never done anything with it.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
We need to just get those back. But it's true.
I know exactly where they are. She just never did anything with them.
This is kind of a hard balance with parents, right? Like how much do you teach? And how much, do you kind of guide them along the way? And when do you let go and say, here you go, right? Because they are going to fail. They're going to fall
You hold
on
on
their
too
face.
long and I let go too soon.
Whatever. I totally let go. I was first. I'm going to say I was first to kick Clay out. I said, I think she needs to leave. I think she needs to live on her own before she went to college. And Jace was like, no, what's the point? She's going to have that's a waste of money. And I was like, no, she's gaining skills to live on her own. She needs to be on her own to know what it is to be an adult.
That wasn't the type of holding on I was talking about. But yes, you are correct about everything that you're talking about right now. So we decided.
Wait. What did you say?
I said, you're right.
Thank you.
So.
You just like your little buttons with the sound effects.
We had that conversation about Clay because she ended up just spinning her wheels. She was making YouTube videos. She was getting paid way too much for it. She had her little physical products. She had all these hopes and dreams that were so far up in the stratosphere because she had no basis in reality. Zero basis in reality. So your idea with her leaving, not kicking her out, assisting her out of the nest, and then kaploink. So
launching her. She was at a failure to launch, and we wanted to launch her.
yeah, at 17, we're saying our daughter had failed to launch. So
No.
Clay then decided, we left it up to her again, and she said, you know what? I do want to go. I want to go to college, but I want to graduate early, and I want to leave in January. That tripped us all up. We were freaking out about that.
We went from like, you need to eventually go and live on your own, to next week, Mom, I am applying for college.
And she did, and she got in. She wrote essays, she did all that. Now, we homeschool. So to get into a university from a homeschool is not as easy because they're like, oh, send us your SAT,
Send us your
ACT,
transcripts
your PBT,
and your ACTs,
CPGM.
which, homeschoolers can do all of that. We just had not taken ACT tests yet or SATs. Our transcripts, we have records. It's just not in the form that like a public high school does. So we have to like fill them out. There's a lot of steps that we're just not used to.
But so she ended up getting accepted. We all flew out there, looked at the campus, met the professors.
Excellent college, university.
I graduated from university after my first semester because all of the professors that I was going to take courses from had never done what the courses they were teaching. And I am so hyperactive, crazy. I want to know if you're telling me how something felt, I want you to be able to explain it in detail how it felt. If you've never touched something that you're trying to tell me how it felt, you will lose me in the weeds right out of the
Real
beginning.
life experience. And that's what makes this university that she goes to amazing, because they are.
We met the professors. The business guy had done multiple businesses and sold them. The singing guy produced multiple albums, helped other people produce
the professor of
multiple albums.
psychology is a psychologist, right? There's so many that have.
He had a brain under his desk that was in a bucket.
It was so weird.
Like, you want to see how the brain works? I'm like, not literally.
Nope, we're good. We're fine. We're good. No, it was great. And I feel like it was a great fit. And especially with our first child, it was a little scary to kind of have her get out there, but they have small classes. It was a wonderful fit, like university wise, for her needs, for what we were hoping for.
And everything was about her at that point. She got out there. It was even more about her. She had lots of issues with roommates because she was a 17-year-old. She moved into a dorm area where everybody was like 19 plus.
Yeah, they were upperclassmen for sure. And they weren't used to this young girl.
She met a boy and she swore she was going to marry him and she'd hire photographers. And she had what would you say, her view on, it was just so almost utopian how everything was just going to be perfect. And then all of a sudden she wanted to go on a church mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The boy was going on one, so she wanted to go on. I didn't mess with the motives because you can't go together. You can't say where you want to go. So it wasn't that.
So when they go on a mission, they basically pack up enough things for a year and a half to 2 years, and the church.
You fill out your paperwork, tell them your skills, what you've done with your life, what you'd like to do. And I swear they laugh at that. And they're like, you want to go tropical? Novosibirsk, Russia.
They send you to an area where they have adults that are over the area, and they pair you up with another girl, right? So Clay has.
Or boy, if you're a boy.
Yeah.
It's very, very organized.
It's very organized. And Clay, each step along the way, I think she had a plan. Like we mentioned before, she is very organized, very much has a plan. She had a plan in her head, an expectation in her head.
And God looked down on her and went, oh, that's nice.
And everything did not go according to plan. No,
everything went the complete opposite. We had a trip scheduled with a professor of religion to Jerusalem and a whole bunch of places around the Middle East. And so we knew that we couldn't submit her passport to get a visa to Brazil on time.
Until we got back from our trip.
Because we really didn't want her to miss that trip.
It was like 2 weeks from when she was supposed to report for the mission, right? Like start her training. And we know now visas take months.
Yeah. If you want to listen to our intro to this video podcast, we talk about that a little bit. So Clay is now gone, living in Brazil.
Yep.
Walking the streets in northeastern Brazil. every day,
hiking hills,
eating her least favorite foods ever,
which
and
is
her
beans.
budget for food is $1 a day.
Honestly, if you couldn't have asked for a more learning experience, here you go.
Yeah, because Clay, Rachel and Rael also, get very hangry. And Clay arrives there, and the sister missionary that is her, what they call companion, and the trainer is from Brazil, doesn't speak one word of English, and they have big lunches there. So she doesn't eat breakfast really. They have a big lunch and then
That's
no
like
dinner.
their main meal in Brazil. Like would be, Americans' dinner, right? And so they have this huge lunch, which
I wouldn't even say a huge lunch. They have $1. Like
No,
they
the
go to people's
families,
homes.
yeah.
Right, but it's beans, rice,
and maybe a little bit of meat.
Maybe meat.
Maybe some extra vegetables. And I'm sure she was eating like a bird. That poor girl. She was trying her best and she called us, "I'm starving," which she wasn't. She just was not eating as much.
She needed to adjust her schedule and focus on others. It's with Clay in our house. When she wanted to eat, y'all knew about it. Right? Over there.
For the life of me, I could not get her to stop snacking. I would be like, "We're having dinner in less than an hour. Please don't snack." I tell this to all the kids. The hour before dinner, you can't eat anything. You want to have fruit before that, snacks before that, whatever.
You're so hardcore.
I know, I'm so mean. But this means that you eat a fuller meal. And honestly, let's pay attention to like dietitians. They say it's better to eat like meals and not just graze every hour, okay? Anyways.
So Clay's out there having issues with food. She has plenty of food. It's just not on her schedule.
It's not what she wants, right? Like she's wanting American food.
That's where Clelea is right now. Having a wonderful time. She loves it.
Yes.
That's her one complaint. But the stories she's telling us, the people they're serving and helping, it's
Meeting
incredible.
wonderful Brazilians up and down these little villages and these towns.
These dirt roads.
So cute. I saw a little picture of her at like the top of this hill. You can overlook the city down below. So beautiful.
So now let's go to Rael, our second born. Rael is here, and she had no clue what she wanted to do. She was looking
for years.
Years.
Did you notice that? Like, I feel we'll ask the kids, and at some point, your childhood dream of, I want to be a veterinarian because I love animals, right? Switches, and then then it changes and it morphs over a couple of years during school. And then essentially near like the end of high school, people kind of have an idea of what they want. Whether they do that or not as an adult, whatever, but at least they have a focus. I feel like when Rael hit high school, like 9th grade, she didn't want to be whatever anymore. And she just stopped wanting to be stuff. And we would ask her, what interests you? What interests you? What's exciting for you? What's really fun for you? Or what is this new thing?
And she'd have no answer.
Nothing. She'd be like, I don't know. I don't know.
I just like to hide in my room and read.
So we would do different things. We would do science experiments. We would do art. We would do history lessons. We would travel and go these crazy places and learn about different people and different things that they did. And still, no spark.
Nothing.
Nothing sparking her to encourage her to do something.
I started working with her on soccer. I said, if you want to go to a school, you're really good at soccer or football. And so all of a sudden.
And art. We worked on art.
She started going into our gym and jogging every night and working out and then doing art.
It was like
all
2
day.
months ago. 2 months ago, it just something switched in her. She was
we
I'm
had
gonna
that
go.
road trip up north, and then on the way home, she and I talked for 3 hours about this, and it was really cool. And then I didn't push anymore because I don't want them to do it for me. I really do want them to do it for them, because if it's for me, as soon as they move out of the house, that's out the window.
They had to figure it out. They got to figure themselves out. And I think that's part of our roles as parents to help them, right? That's why you offer kids.
We pull up our roles and responsibilities in our family contract.
Our contract says that I'm supposed to feed you.
Wherein as to and pertaining under such.
Make sure you survive.
Oh, come on!
But really, that's why you go and we try different foods so that we can figure out what our favorite is, right?
And what we dislike.
As in education, you're supposed to learn all different skills and then figure out what you like, right? So, and for us as parents, as we have been homeschooling / world schooling, we want them to figure out what they really have a passion for. Like Shay loves to animate. He wants to be an animator. He talks about it all the time. He researches. He's really into all the details of animating. And I think that's great. Raquel, a light just switched after this conversation, and she just started working out every morning. I mean, she gets up
She's
before we
actually
do
getting
at
pretty
like
buff.
6.
Her arms are
She's
getting
getting
pretty-
really strong.
Yeah.
She's, like she starts her day. She does her studies. She does.
I got this. For those of you watching, you get to watch a comedy show
Jace
for a
just
minute.
broke the microphone. Okay, I'm going to talk while he does that. But she has been really leaning in and focusing on kind of what she likes, which I really, really enjoy. She's always kind of had a knack for art. I think that really sparked something in her. She's been sketching before, painting, all different types of photography. And so she's really getting into that. And I think that is what she's going to lean into as her adventure for college or university will begin soon.
Well, and her photography, she's going way in on it. And one of the cool things about Raquel is she doesn't like to be pushed at all. But you can drip things on Raquel. And then if you're quiet about it and you let it be up to her,
Oh, yes.
or you let her think it's up to her, if you can be the neck and turn the head,
The man is the head, but the woman is the neck.
then she goes down and she does it secretly.
Yeah,
And gets it done. It's pretty
We
crazy.
discovered this when she was probably 5 or 6 years old. We had chores in the house, and Clay is very motivated by rewards. We would have sticker charts, and so many stickers got prizes or whatever. And when you completed things, you would get stickers, whether it was chores or helping out or whatever. And Raquel didn't care. She didn't give a crap about that
Nothing.
sticker. She was like, it gets me a sticker? No. She would do it off and on.
Can I turn that sticker in for something actually valuable?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
But it was really hard at times when she decided not to do it. She didn't want to do it. But then we discovered the power of praise. We would praise her.
Oh, my goodness.
She cleaned the bathroom one time. And I showed her like, oh, you use a little cleanser wipe or washcloth. She cleaned the sink. She cleaned the bathroom. And we came in there and we praised her like, oh my goodness, look how clean this bathroom is. It sparkles. Look at that. You even got over here. I noticed your attention to detail, right? Like we praised her.
Every
And
bathroom in the house was clean after that.
oh my goodness. Like she didn't want any other chore. She was like, I'll clean the bathrooms. I'll clean the bathrooms. And she did really good.
And we try not to abuse this because if you do it too much, it doesn't have value anymore.
No.
And so we found ways specifically with Raquel where if we can give her honest, good, but very specific feedback, it's pretty amazing.
And I think, honestly, giving a feedback where we also reflect on her feelings. We've talked about this a little bit before, but the praise is such a powerful tool, but we don't want her to do things for us. And that's what praise kind of leads to,
Right.
is them motivated to please us. But we want them to please themselves and look at their accomplishments and go, wow, I worked really hard and I did this, right? And so we would ask her, like, what do you really enjoy? Oh, I like drawing. Oh, that's really cool. What's your favorite art that you do? Oh, I really enjoy, sketching. Or no, you know what? I really love taking good photographs. And she did. She leaned into that and
So I lent her our old camera. That's a really nice camera. I told her she better go watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos on it. And that's the cool thing about nowadays. You don't have to send them to a trade school. You can send them to YouTube University. That's not a real thing, but it's a thing. And you can see Shay. He's like, Dad, I can't figure this out. How many videos have you watched about it? None. So go watch. And then he'll come to me an hour later. Dad, oh my gosh, I learned how to do this. Look at this candle I drew on Blender. And now look at how the flame and the smoke comes off. And all of a
YouTube
sudden
is
he's
so
an
powerful.
animator.
And not just because we create content on YouTube too, but before we ever created content, we went there for how-tos.
I fixed so many cars
right? Like
from YouTube.
I made paper mache dragons like from Sleeping Beauty, giant ones. And we did so many things because people out there that are wonderful and awesome are sharing their talents on YouTube. And that's what it's for. And honestly, like we have learned how to do experiments on how to fix things, on how to use a camera, on, like there's so much out there and it's great.
All my friends are like, hey, did you see my last YouTube video? I'm like, no, but I saw 17 YouTube videos today on how to fix a garage door. So I don't watch YouTube, but I search YouTube, if that makes sense. I'm not a watcher.
I'm not a watcher either,
I search for
like
things.
a TV show. But the best thing about YouTube University is before you even find out if you really want to dive deep into a subject, you can experiment with YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can figure out how to do photography, how to take pictures, how to work your camera, how to use Photoshop, lighten pictures, do whatever, and maybe figure out if you like it. right? Like, and save you tons of money before you even pay.
But most
for
people aren't
those.
disciplined enough to do that. And that's one of the tragedies. We have tried to help
Mm-hmm.
probably 20 or 30 other friends, even just to become YouTubers. We've given them everything they could have done. And then we say, okay, once you've gotten this far, then come back to us. And none of them ever come back to us like, well, aren't you just going to shout us out in a video and I'll be famous? I'm like,
That's
no,
not how that works.
That's never how it works.
But I think what you're talking about, like that self-perseverance to sit down, push yourself, study something, try it out, and go back to doing that whole rotation over again is not taught. Right? Like in public schools, they teach you to sit down, read a book. There's a test at the end. Are you going to remember what you learned? No, most likely not even after like a month. You may not remember that. But if you bring your energy to the table, going to this and sitting down and learning, that's when the real magic of learning happens.
Well, there's different chemicals that release in your brain when you're actually passionate about something. And those chemicals, they come out at that time. Then your brain learns, hey, this activity makes me feel this way. That's one reason why pornography is so bad, is because those attach to other feelings.
More intense chemical that is released in your brain.
Every human is supposed to go through, but it's attached to something fake instead of something real. But with this, it's if you can start learning that and attach that passion, watch those videos, do that research, read those books, talk to those people, it sets you on fire. And bringing this back to Rael, the university actually had their photographer who took photography, went to school for photography. He actually called Rael and they had an hour phone call. She had like 10 pages of notes.
So little shout out. We haven't mentioned the name yet. But if you follow us along, you will know it is Southern Virginia University. And this is one of the things we do love. Besides the fact that these professors have a real life experience, real world experience, they are really personable.
It's a small enough campus that they know every student.
They do. And Clay, when she was taking her psychology classes, she's really getting into psychology. She loves that.
She sat next to the brain bucket.
She did.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the smell? Anyways, it's sad. Very good. But her psychologist teacher, like if she had questions, she could call and say, hey, I don't understand this.
Yeah,
or
she could text them.
And text, and they knew all of their students because the classrooms are not large. And so he was able to help her one-on-one. And this is when like true mentoring, I feel, begins, is because you build that relationship with someone that, okay, you want to gain those skills that they have. You want to understand about psychology or about photography. And then they come to you, with the experience, with the lessons. And that's when that learning happens. And that was so awesome. Like when the photographer called Rael, I was like, oh my gosh, a good memory. This is why I love this university.
We had
they care.
so many things we were doing right then. And she kept interrupting anything and everything we were doing. Hey, Dad, so guess what he said? And I love squirrels. And so I just like, squirrel. And all of a sudden, Rael had all my attention. Rachel's like, Jace and Rael. Rael, quit interrupting. Jace, focus. But she kept coming in and she kept just going crazy.
She's so excited.
Yeah.
She was so excited. And
I haven't seen her this excited in a very long time.
In a while. And you know what? And this is what we've been waiting for, right? Like the idea to spark that passion under them so they can grow and excel and push themselves.
Rael is excited. She's all pumped up. She is now leaving in less than 60 days.
What? Holy crap. Yeah, at first, I really just felt like she wasn't showing the oomph and the initiative, right? Like when Clay got the idea to go to college and university, she researched. She went through multiple universities all around our state, different states.
You know why?
Explained, like, why?
She did not want to go where Clay went. She didn't know why she didn't want to.
No,
Did you notice? She looked at all other universities before she looked here.
Rael did, yes.
Because that's where Clay went.
No, but I was saying Clay was super motivated. So she was comparing, like contrast and comparing different universities. And Rael was kind of like, she would be like, oh yeah, I want to go to the University of Illinois. But she didn't do a ton of research. You know what I mean? She did research for that one, but I felt like once she found one, it wasn't. Anyways, I just wasn't feeling it. And then once she started leaning in and like going, okay, they have this, this, and this. Then I was like, okay, I think she's got the drive. Because again, we don't want to push her. And so when she gets to college or university, she's going to be like, why am I even here?
Well, she's not going to have any motives or any self-discipline, because if we don't have our kids make decisions and choices and learn consequences now,
Yep.
then when they get there, they'll be like, oh, wait a second.
Why am I doing this? Like,
Nobody bailed me out of this one.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. I was always told what to do. I don't know. Mom, what do I do right now?
I don't know how to think for myself.
But the big difference between Rael and Clay, and here's something that we do differently from a lot of people. We chose to help our kids earn money so we wouldn't have to pay for their things. They work really hard. We film a lot. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. And they have earned quite a bit of money. But Rael, because she's a lot less diehard than Clay, she never really researched into her channel and pushed her YouTube channel and released products and went crazy like that. And so her income is about 10% what Clelea's income was.
Yeah. So when it comes to that tuition, it's a little bit a little bit tight there.
So Clay and I drove all the way out to campus, and Clay had a car the whole time. Rael does own a car. She owns a car. But I think we might have Rael sell her car so she can pay
For 2 more semesters.
Yeah, extra semesters of college. And also because Clay's car was a distraction. Clay loves making friends, but I think her vehicle was used because this campus is 45 minutes away from almost anything. They have their own little grocery store and a couple little fast food restaurants and other stuff like that. But if you want to go to like a Walmart, Ross, Target, any of that stuff, it's a 45-minute drive. And so Clay ended up, whenever I'd check the Find My Friends on my phone, she was always on the highway somewhere.
She was driving all over the place. And that's not bad. But I do feel like I went to college and there was one semester that I was always driving back home. It was 4 hours away from my parents' house. And I was always driving home like every other weekend to visit my friends and my family. And I wasn't really in the university, right? Like I went to school, I got the good grades, but like I wasn't like making friends
She
at
says
university.
that like it's so easy.
Oh my gosh, stop it. But like, I wasn't in the university, right? Like I wasn't joining clubs. I wasn't like going to football games. I wasn't being
You left home to go to school. School wasn't home.
Yes. And I kept coming back home. Now my second semester there at this university, I decided I was going to be in. I was going to be all in. I was going to love it. I was going to have fun. And I did. And I feel like Clay did what I did, right? Her semesters with her car, she did get involved, but I feel like it separated her.
But she escaped all the time.
She escaped. Exactly. That's such a great phrase, because I feel like she wasn't committed to maybe the life there, right? And it's not like you have to do that, but I feel you gain more from that university college experience by being in there.
Yeah.
And I want Rael to have that, because I feel like she naturally has a personality where she can go and hide and be totally fine to be alone. You know, she
Rael
likes to hang out
alone.
with people.
She's really good at being with people, but she thrives alone.
And so I want her to kind of have to ask someone to use, like, hey, will you take me to Walmart? I'll pay for gas, you know, something like that. Or, hey, if you're going to go to Walmart ever, I'll like split gas with you and get some groceries, right? You know, like, and she's great at making friends.
Rael can approach, and because she doesn't have that emotional base like Clelea.
She has no fear sometimes.
We're at a YouTuber party, and there's all these, within the YouTube sphere, famous YouTubers there.
Okay, there is this guy that I was not like fanning over, but he did great work. And I was even a little afraid to like go over and talk to him. He creates fun kid content. His name is Guava Juice. Do you remember him? Mm-hmm. He was so great.
I actually just talked to him on Twitter about a month ago.
What?
Yeah, he has a bunch of
He's making friends with all these people. But he makes great, good, clean content, awesome stuff, and I really appreciate that from other creators. And it was just this big party. He was like across the way, so I didn't even try to go over there. But Rael just works her way around the room. She's talking to all different types of people, not even just peers her age. She's talking to like lots older people, younger kids. She goes straight up and it's like, hey, I really like your work. Can I take a picture with you? Like super casual. I was like, that girl is like so brave.
Even at Comic-Con, when we are in the green room.
Wait. What's his face? That she went and talked to, right?
Yeah. No, anybody that she was like, oh my gosh, she'd go right up to him. Hey, I love watching you in movies. I love how you do this.
What's his name from Doctor Strange?
Yeah. Wong.
Wong.
She went right up to Wong.
Went up
she's
right
chatting with
and
him.
talked
She's
to
like,
him.
he's the
I was like,
nicest
what?
Guy. And
I mean, like she's really chill and casual. She doesn't fangirl over it.
I went up
She
to
was
Tom
great.
Holland so that he would take pictures with the girls, though. I did that one.
Good job, honey.
I felt good
High
about
fives.
that one.
High fives. You deserve that.
Yeah, it made Clay feel tall.
Good job.
Oh, that was amazing.
Made Clay feel tall.
Okay, so Rael is about to go to college. We're about to pack all her stuff up.
We're packing up all our stuff too.
We will be leaving to Scotland.
Oh, my
Rael
goodness.
will be in Virginia. Clelea will be in Brazil.
We're gonna be all over the
And
world.
we feel good about this. Our family is literally going to be all over the globe. We will be in 3 different countries.
If you don't know why we're moving, make sure you go over to our first episode on the Raising Ohana YouTube or the podcast, just the previous one before that. And we talk all about why we're moving.
Episode 1, season 3.
Really fun. It's going to be crazy to be totally spread. I feel a little bit more comfortable with this because being raised military, my family was kind of always spread. And I have sisters that live multiple states away.
None of you live in the same state.
And it's kind of just how it is. And we come together and we gather. Aaron is.
Oh, wow. My whole family, we all moved back into the same state.
Yeah, Jace's family used to be
We
really
were
spread.
super
but that
spread
was
out.
when there like people were still doing like
Residency and
universities
school
and
and yeah.
No, I think it feels really great to have our children and launch them into the world and know that they're excited about what's happening, right? Like I feel like I have so many people that come up. Are you so sad that Clay's gone?
I feel so
Are
bad
you
when people do this to us.
Are you crying because
every day
you're gonna lose your second daughter? And I honestly, I did cry when they left. I am an emotional person, so I did cry when they left.
You're
and I
much
got really
more
sad.
based. You are much more based in logic than
I
emotion,
am,
though.
but I'm saying it's not like I don't cry. But as a mom, my goal is to launch these children into society as good citizens, right? Like to be good adults, good citizens, adults that help the community, can hold their own, know what they want in life, or at least know how to get it, or at least know what to do to find out how to get it, right? That's our goal.
We have friends they don't have the heart or the bravery to tell Rach that she's heartless, but lots of our friends tell me that I'm heartless. And I'm like, you don't understand how our family works. We leave our children all the time. Our children leave us all the time. We do lots of stuff like that. That's the whole point. The more that we leave each other, the longer we'll stay together. That was a good one.
Oh my goodness.
Right? But
Yeah,
it's true though.
It's absolutely true. So
It's like overstaying your welcome at that one friend's house.
there is this balance. There is this balance where we want to be able to give them skills, but feel confident to leave, but also to have the desire to come back, right?
Right.
We don't want everyone to have to move back in with us. We're not thinking anything like that. We want them to be, if they want to live across the world and raise their family over there, that's great. Like good for them. But that we have that relationship where we hang out, we play games, we do all sorts of crazy, weird things together, and we can still come back and hang out, right? Like this last week, we had kids going to, like last weekend, we had kids going to parties, high school parties, like Rael's at home doing like photography, little girls invited like some friends over watching a movie. And then the very next day, that was like Friday, on the very next day, we were like, hey, we're going to have family time. So what did we do? We played not video games. We played board games together.
Yeah.
We watched a movie together. We even had some gospel study together. Like we did things together. And they, at the same time, I mean, like, yes, they might have asked like, hey, I can go play with my friends later. Sure. But they weren't like dying to leave. But also at the same time, they're not stuck at our home thinking, I'm too scared to leave.
Yeah.
We don't want the opposite either.
So Shay went to this party, high school party, 2 different high school parties.
What did he say? That phrase.
Well, he came
It
home.
was so the typical high school
like,
cliche party.
Dad, it was so just one of those high school parties. I never want to go to one again. It was so stupid. And it wasn't like I'm socially awkward and it was stupid because I don't like being social. Shay loves to be around people. But he came back. He's like, yeah, I'm never going to go to one of those again. It was so ridiculous. I'd rather just hang out with my friends over there, just go play ball or go hiking or biking or anything. And then what happened recently, Clay called from Brazil. She was so pumped to leave us in the dust. She was so excited to leave us. Right?
Yeah.
And now she's like,
She was crying.
I kind of want to come
I
home.
want to come home. She's like, I don't want to come home, but I miss you guys so much. And I said, Clay, we're boring. Like, you come home. Do you know what we did this week? Oh, we read books. We watched some movies. We didn't even go out. Like
The
we didn't do
time of our
anything, right? And
lives.
I loved it. I thought it was a good week. The kids thought it was a good week because all they did was like hang out with a friend here or there, play games with us.
It was so relaxing.
But it wasn't like crazy intense, you know? And so it was good. It's a fine balance between making sure that we have family time together, but giving them independent time. And it comes back to be awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing is if your children are in a prison, all they're going to want to do is break out.
Yeah.
Right? So if your home is such a way, and our home is much more like a prison than all of their friends' homes. Everybody out, their kids are always out driving around, doing all this stuff, and our kids have to ask permission. And these other parents, they'll text us at like midnight, they're like, hey, are my kids over there? And we're like, how do you not know?
I know,
And
we're
you
like,
see, we're the
I know where
heartless ones.
all my kids
Y'all don't
are.
even know where your kids are, but I'm the one who's heartless because I don't cry every day. What is even happening? But
Yep.
our kids go out, they do things, they have friends, they do all that kind of stuff, but they love coming home.
Yeah. We have like many times where they're like, Shay will call and he'll be like, Mom, can I hang out and go to so-and-so's house? Mom, don't say I can't.
He called me actually, he's
Mom,
like,
don't
Dad,
say I can't.
Dad, can you be my excuse? Can you tell me to come home right now? I'm like, yeah, Shay, throw it on speaker. And then say, whoa, it wasn't supposed to be on speaker. And I'm like, yeah, Shay, you got to come home right now, bro. I can't believe you didn't get that done.
We are totally okay being the bad guy. But it's so fun that they want to come home. They want to go out.
But
they
wait.
want to do these things, but they also want to come
Are
home.
you their best friend?
I don't think so.
No.
You're my best friend.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're not their best friends. We are very strict.
We're very much the parent.
But
and that's the goal. That's
we
what we
reward.
should be. Yes.
We reward. We incentivize. We do all those things. So our house is very different. We don't want to be their best friend, but we want to be the person they come to when they need anything.
And we want them to feel comfortable bringing their friends to
Dad,
our
I'm
home.
drunk at a party. I'm so sorry. Can you come pick me up? If Shay called me and said that, I would not yell at him. I would get my butt in the car. I'd go pick his butt up. Mm-hmm. Right? Then if it was underage drinking, then I'd call the cops afterwards. But
Give him a little smack. It's fine.
we want to be the people they come to when they need something. And like Clay would come back at the end of a date. You and I are sitting in the hot tub. She's standing on our patio. Guess what? I kissed him. She would tell us that she kissed. I still haven't told my parents who I kissed or didn't kiss in high school or junior high.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. It took us a while. We still have many mistakes that we make every day.
Would you call it respect? Do you think they have... I'm trying to figure this out. They don't call us their best friends. We're not their best friends, and that's okay. Do you think it's respect that makes them... Or no, maybe it's just trust.
I think
You know what? You need to go back to one of our earlier podcasts from season 2 called the... What do we call the couch? I forget what we call the couch now.
safety couch.
The safety couch. I think the safety couch is a big thing. We have a couch in our bedroom. If the kids have done something that they are ashamed of, scared of, afraid of,
or if something
anything,
happened and they don't understand, like they come to the couch, go
And
and,
we're
listen
not
to
allowed
it.
to get mad.
It's really good. But, going back to your question, I think you're right. I think it is trust and love because they know that they can come and to the safety couch and we won't get mad. They can share and we can help advise them and tell them
Even if one of them got pregnant,
Yep.
on the safety couch, we are not allowed to yell there. We have to listen and not interrupt. And then we can respond when we can. That is their place to offload. And I think because of that, they don't even use it anymore. They come up to us and they're like, hey, Dad, I got to tell you about this. I broke this and I did this and that. And what do we need to do? Or little Evie, I was on YouTube or on Google searching for something and I saw something really bad. And we'll talk about it. We'll go over it. And Evie even one time looked at Rach and was like, I want to tell you and not Dad.
Yeah. And so Dad had to leave. And that's totally fine. And I think
Because
that
Mom tells me later anyways.
only if Evie allows.
Yeah.
But that trust is there.
Yeah, there's trust. She's right there. Hi. If you're on the video, you can see our Doberman put her head over the couch and she really wants dinner right now. So,
But that trust is there. And I think that helps them to know they can come to us and get advice. They can come to us and get comfort and love and guidance. And they can come to us to
and
just
get some discipline.
Yep. And honestly, kids like boundaries. So we'll talk more about that in some upcoming episodes.
That's the phrase. Kids like boundaries. They don't like prisons. Not as good as my earlier one. But it's true, though. If they feel locked in, they will rebel to get out of it. If there's boundaries and they know that there's a pathway through, I think they actually thrive in those situations.
And I feel like we've helped them to learn how safe it is, how great it can be, and how to grow out of that, how to grow and expand and move to, the next step.
So there is our oldest two. I think we'll do another one of these for next week that is talking about what is happening with our younger three, because they are extremely different. Actually, the younger four, because now let's just do the next two. Let's talk about the two boys next, because we've got a 15-year-old turning 16, getting his license. We have a very shy but active and aloof 14-year-old that we are trying to teach and learn how to communicate with to keep him to stay on subject.
Oh, yes.
We ask him to do the
trial right
dishwasher.
now.
We see him playing with a stick outside. We ask him how he got there, and he says, I actually don't know.
So many adventures in our home.
So hit us up on our Instagrams at Jace Bennett, at Rach Bennett, or on YouTube at Raising Ohana. And hopefully by now we've changed the podcast name to Raising Ohana. Find us there.
Make sure you follow us, subscribe. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Comment below. Honestly, we want to hear what your thoughts are on this, as well as more subjects and topics that we can talk about.
Peace out.
Bye.